Hi ladies, this is looking at the data analysis section of your field report. This document is up on our unit nest page. On the main section, you will find it here, the field report writing guide. Okay, so what do you need to do? First, this is where you're showing off where you have manipulated, transformed, and represented your data. So lots of maps, diagrams, and photos to show your reader who is not me. Imagine you're writing this for Mr. McClay and the College Council. Okay, people who don't know a lot about geography, but who are very well educated. All right, and then that's what you're basing your analysis on. Now, the exemplar that the QCAA has up, we have here. So I'll just open that up. Okay. When we're looking at the analysis section, the first part is the site location and characteristics. It does not matter what field report you're doing, you will always start with this, because you will notice that you have to tell people where you are and what the site is like. So you will need a location map of the college in general and of where we did our field work in particular. You'll also need to have a look at some photos that are showing what the areas are like that we investigated. Okay. As we mentioned in class before the holidays, this one is probably a bit too simplistic and not up very close, but it gives you an idea of the kind of thing that you'd be looking at. So, first one you're going to look at are the site characteristics. What that means is, what is the habitat on the Westmoreton Anglican College campus like? What do we have around us? What did it used to be like? What is it like now? So you could bring in some of the old photos from when the college was first being built and a bit of comparison to what it's like now. Okay, but I do that mostly through photos, not through too much description. The next sections that we're looking at, you are looking at one way of organizing for identifying and analyzing the challenges could be by the actual sites where we collected the data. Sorry, you'll also find on here I've suggested some figures. I'm not going to read them all out. You are not limited to that. Have a look and see what you want to do. Okay, I thought of a couple of different ways of doing the analysis. You could do it by focus, such as habitat fragmentation or soil erosion. You could do it by koala area or whatever. I was worried it might get a little bit repetitive, but I didn't have all the information that you have in front of me. So what I'm showing you now is simply based on my recollection of what we did, but it seems fairly logical. All right, so for each data site, you might have investigation for site 3. Stop there. Look at section 3.2, investigation site 1. So that would be the transact at the college farm. So what you would be looking at for that site is what were the characteristics of that site. This comes straight from the ISMG, that show the features, elements, and interactions that have led to habitat fragmentation on the campus. So what can you see over there, and how are they going together that have led to the fragmentation of the natural environment here? Well, we've got the farm, we've got the land clearing and the tree clearing that's still going on. We've got the orchard where you're putting in a monoculture instead of native species and plants. So You got all of those coming together. How does that represent the nature, extent, and impact of habitat fragmentation on the campus? In there, for example, you could have a map that outlines the entire area of the farm, and this one transect we did was representative of the farm area, and we're showing how the farm area has been separated from the rest of the campus, just leaving that little bit of habitat down along the gully and area and that by itself. Next bit, the impacts for koala habitats on the college. Have we been, where's the clearing in relation to that? Where's the risk of koala food trees being knocked over, etc.? And what are the potential impacts of your finding at each site for habitat, quality, and sustainability in that area? Now, you could leave that last one out and do it for the college as a whole, but I'd say on your draft at least make some notes there so that you are getting an idea as you go of the impacts. The big thing, make sure you are looking for relationships and interactions. So our investigation areas included the farm, the koala habitat restoration area, or the dam spoil hill, however you want to characterize that. It's got some koala habitat restoration, but that's been at the expense of dumping all the dam stuff there in the first place. The remnant vegetation area, which is the gully, and the oldest part of the college over in the junior school. Now, I did send some details earlier that there is information from the Queensland Queensland Environment Report that talks about the different levels of habitat fragmentation, the State of the Environment Report in Queensland. So you might want to categorize this as different levels of fragmentation. I think I may have mentioned that. Doopy-doopy-doopy-doo. Somewhere back in here, but if you can't find it, let me know and I'll resend it. Here it is, methodology. A conceptual framework you could consider for our investigation. It refers to core, edge, and patch habitat fragmentation. I strongly recommend you have a read of that. I didn't find it until the holidays, sorry. Okay, so essentially for your analysis, you're looking at each section and what is happening in each of those investigation areas, and then I would say a summary of what that means for the overall impact. So what's overall causing the challenges and the overall impacts on the college grounds. That would be pretty much everything for analysis. We're going to stop there. If you get stuck, have a look at this handout. Also have a look at the example that's been given from the QCAA, this one down here. Remember, they were doing weed invasion, so slightly different focus. But there are a lot of resources out there to help you. And of course, ask me as many questions as you need.